Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Super Lunch Bros Podcast, episode number 120. I am Brendan, and I'm still sick. I am, or sinus backed up, something. I am going to muddle my way through this one. I'm going to maybe not spend as much time as I normally do breaking these things down, because I still have 2 more of these videos to make today. Anyway, if you could, I would really appreciate it. If you do like MMA, if you like MMA podcasts, you like talking about MMA, you like discussing this stuff, I do at least one of these videos every single week, and I would really appreciate it if you subscribe, because then you would know when the next video is coming out. And if you do like this video, please hit the like button, because it does help out the YouTube overlord algorithms. All right. We're going to talk about Bellator 279. I didn't say that at the top. I'm stupid. I'm going to talk about Cyborg versus Blencowe 2. Boy, this fight was fun, huh? Of course, Bellator doesn't give me stats. Oh, mother of pearl. Bellator doesn't give me stats the way I want to, which is unfortunate. Because, you know, I can get them for boxing and get them for UFC. I wish they would just give me striking numbers and stuff so I can pull them up for you guys. If anybody out there knows a better place or a place where I can find those things, please let me know. All right, so this fight was pretty fun, actually. Chris Cyborg is the current featherweight champion in Bellator. This was her 4th title defense. She ends up getting the decision win. Arlene Blencowe was the first woman to take Cyborg to the distance in Bellator. So she can kind of hang her hat on that one. But you know, in the first round, Cyborg was just kind of teeing off. She ended up dropping her with a right hand, but then threw a knee that kind of strayed off to the side. And Blencowe had her hand right here. Sorry, I'm also like sucking on cough drops so I can actually breathe through this shit. So if you hear me doing that stuff, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. Anyway, so she was like, she was on all fours, right, against the fence, and she brought her knee up, right? She brought her knee kind of up here. She brought her leg up to defend against the body, the body knee that was coming in from Cyborg, and then also put her hand here, basically just defending the side of her body, as you would when you're down on the ground and you're trying to defend against, you know, an attacker who's standing up, trying to land some body blows. Well, by doing that, it drove Cyborg's knee and made it veer off to the left, catching the hand of Blencowe and bouncing off of her face. Now, the knee never touched Blencowe's face, but watching it live, you couldn't tell. It looked like the knee did land, even if it was slight. I thought, was it Jason Herzog, I think was the referee? Yes, he was. Jason Herzog took a point from Cyborg. I'm not mad at it. It's fine. You know, shit happens. Cyborg was definitely winning the round, so the round ends up going 9-9. The rest of this fight was all Cyborg. It really was. She was unloading. Blencowe was landing shots here and there. She was doing okay work. Definitely wasn't the worst performance against Cyborg I have ever seen, right? She didn't just walk over her or anything. Blencowe stayed in there. And that's a testament to Arlene's chin and toughness. You know, even coming out into the 5th round, she's banging on her chest, screaming, "Let's fucking go!" Pretty like that. That's some like badass shit that she's doing. It really was. You know, she's getting battered and beaten, pillar to post, for 4 straight rounds, getting dropped in the first round. She's still throwing bombs, landing some good shots of her own against Cyborg. And she wants to just keep going. And it was super cool to see that. That being said, all the good things you can say about Blencowe pale in comparison to how good Cyborg is. The fact that Cyborg has a loss to Amanda Nunes really puts a damper on her career, and also a damper on her claim to be the greatest female fighter. Right? And I think if they run that fight back with Amanda Nunes, or sorry, that's never happening, but if they could run that fight back, 10 times, how many times does Amanda Nunes win? Maybe 5, maybe 6. But I think given the chaotic nature of that first round, and knowing that Cyborg has the cardio to go 5 rounds, where Nunes definitely does not in that kind of fight, I think the UFC got lucky with that one. Or maybe they got unlucky. You can see it two different ways, but I think they kind of got lucky with that fight where Nunes came out the way she did, being the champ and that, like the double champ, and being able to promote her the way they were. And, technically she still does have the belt. But that's the thing, is like the featherweight division in the UFC makes no sense. It was made for Cyborg. She's not there anymore, and they don't even have rankings. So just toss it. This fight was like fun. It was action-packed. There was lots of damage going, mostly one-way traffic as far as that goes. Cyborg's a goddamn beast. Freaking crazy. It really was. I mean, the amount of, like, she was landing shots on Arlene that would drop, I mean, for sure would have dropped me. Right? She hits hard, man. And Arlene just stood in there and took it and was throwing back. Again, I'm talking like Arlene was like really mixing it up and making this a fight. Like it was one-way traffic, guys. Okay, let's put things in perspective. Cyborg went in there and did her damn thing. She dominated the fight. The things that we can say, the good things that we can say, is that Arlene didn't get knocked out. That she was able to land a couple punches here and there. All right. I mean, I think Cyborg, she said she wants to have like the biggest fights, whether that be against Nunes or Kayla Harrison or whoever it might be. She wants to have the big fights. That's pretty much it. I mean, Bellator can keep tossing fights up to her, but she's going to keep knocking out pretty much anybody she goes up against. She's been a step ahead of most female fighters for the better part of like 13 years here. So anyway, cool, fun event, really exciting. Co-main event, Raufeon Stots versus Juan Archuleta. Juan Archuleta is the former bantamweight champion in Bellator. Stots went out there and landed this. Do you remember the Marlon Moraes kick to Aljamain Sterling, where he threw the kick and Sterling ducked down, and because of that, the knee or like the high shin landed right on the head and knocked him out? It was almost identical to that, as far as like the positioning of the leg versus where it hit on the head. So that's kind of what happened here. First round, I went to Juan Archuleta. Second round, I did the same. I said the same thing. Pretty sure he won the first 2 rounds, but Stots landed this kick to the dome. He has the belt. Juan was the champ. No. This was for an interim belt. That's what it was. I'm sorry. This was for the interim belt, and now Stots has it, dude. Then afterwards, Stots was like, "Oh my God, I'm the champion!" Like, he seems fun. He's got a personality. He's gonna be fun in this tournament. It's gonna be fun to watch him fight going forward. It's really cool. Okay, now let's talk about this shit show. Justine Kish defeats Lima McFarland in a decision. Now, Kish is famous for crapping her pants in the UFC fight. That's unfortunate, but, that's something that happened, and it's very rare, so that's why she's famous for it. The punching and general skill level being displayed during this fight is reminiscent of shit that we would have seen in female MMA across the board about 5 or 6 years ago. They're just behind the times. McFarland's not a bad fighter. Kish isn't a bad fighter by any means, but the level of striking just isn't there in modern MMA. It was not a fun fight to watch for me, especially in the first round, but I had McFarland landing more, looping crappy punches in the first round, getting to 10-9. My notes, I'm like, man, this is painful to watch. I would go Kish because she seemed to land more in the second round, so I had it 19-19, and then third round, Kish won the last round, did more damage, and she was going for a submission. So, she ends up winning the fight. It's a huge fall off for McFarland, and I think it speaks more to the level, the depth of female MMA in general, but especially at the upper weight classes, not strawweight. And then now you're trying to split them between multiple organizations. I mean, the UFC has a hard enough time trying to fill out the flyweight and bantamweight female divisions, and that's the highest level of competition that we have in MMA, and they can't even fill out those divisions. So, splitting it up into the Bellators and ONE FCs and Invictas and all that other stuff, it just thins the talent pool, and we're not going to get the best MMA in any organization when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't know. I did not like this fight. It was really painful to watch. Congratulations to Justin Kish. And McFarland, maybe McFarland just because she's coming off of an injury and like the certain knee surgery and stuff, and maybe that's why she looked the way she did, but I thought she looked like crap. Okay. And the last fight we're going to talk about here is Kyoji Horiguchi versus Patchy Mix. Mix spends 4 minutes. So Mix ends up getting the decision here, and it was a 5-round fight because this is part of their tournament, part of their bantamweight tournament, and Mitch. God dang, my nose! This is crazy. Mix ended up spending about 4 minutes on Kyoji's back, and he put the body triangle on him in the first round, and he controlled him there, and he was kind of going for submissions, but he never really was he had, I think, like one or two moments where he was kind of going for a rear naked choke where it could have been close, but none of them were so close that his face was turning purple or that it was like not like seconds or inches away from being a submission finish. So I gave it a 10-9. I have problems with the way John McCarthy was calling this fight. I will talk about him near the end here. So Kyoji was darting in and out, landing the damage mostly to the legs and doing decent overhand hooks in that second round. I gave him the second round. I had it 19-19. So the third round was a combo of the first and second round, right, where Kyoji Horiguchi was doing decent damage, doing good leg kicks, landing the loop-in punches, and then Patchy Mix dove in for a takedown, and he rode out some control time with a body triangle until there was 30 seconds left, and then he lost position. Now, in this scenario, it's tough to score, but Mix didn't land any damage, and he wasn't close to a submission finish. And yes, he was on his back, so that's a good position, but I think Horiguchi did more damage. So I actually gave him that third round. If you want to give Mix that third round, fine. But I gave it to Horiguchi. I think that one was pretty close because if you just go by damage, again, this is one of the problems I have with John McCarthy's calling this fight. He was very biased. Oh, my freaking nose. Kyoji was having a great round on the feet, kicking the legs and landing good shots to the body in that fourth round, and I gave him that round too. All right, so I had him up 39-37. Okay. And then in the last round here, I was like, wow, this is boring as hell to watch. Mix is not getting a finish, and he's just willing to sit on the back and ride it out. So he clearly thought he was ahead, and so did the judges because they ended up giving him the decision. But, this is where I want to talk about the problem. So I have a real problem with John McCarthy telling me how good Patchy Mix is when he's just sitting on the guy's back. Like, if you have to tell me how good he is and he's not showing it, that's a fucking problem. Okay? I still had Kyoji Horiguchi winning the fight. I thought he won 3 of the rounds. But, John McCarthy was like campaigning for a 10-8 round in that first round, which is horseshit. He did no damage. I don't care how long you're on someone's back. If you're going to you have to have consistency, and that's not how these 10-8 rounds were getting tossed out. Okay? And then as far as damage goes, McCarthy's usually the one who's talking about, oh, hey, no damage was done here. Oh, he had control, but he didn't really do damage. So if you're on someone's back and you do no damage, is that better than being in mount and doing no damage? Right? Just because you're in a position to threaten the submission, If you never get close to the submission, what's the difference? Do you know what I mean? You're not doing the damage. I'm not mad because Mix won, although it was a boring ass fight when he was in control. It's just, when I have a guy in the announcer booth who clearly favors one dude, because he did. Like, I don't know if they had, like, if McCarthy has something against Horiguchi because he's not a part of, Bellator's organization, or if he just is such a big fan of Mix because he's a part of Bellator and he's homegrown and all that other stuff, and he wants to, like, talk him up and all that shit. I mean, that's fine. I just don't want to sit there and have you tell me how good this guy is and then talking down the other dude. And on top of that, Horiguchi's tiny compared to Mix. Like, he's not a natural bantamweight like this. He should be fighting at flyweight, which is what he fought in the UFC. He's shorter. He's naturally, like, a smaller guy. Like, Patchy Mix is 5'11", and he probably outweighed him by at least 15, 20 pounds in there, as opposed to Horiguchi being 5'5". Right? They're not in the same. They shouldn't be in the same weight class. Even though Horiguchi had a good fight against Sergio Pettis, and he was winning that fight till the flash knockout happened. That's not the point. It's not that he can't have success at bantamweight. It's that he's a natural flyweight. So, I don't know. This was one of, like, this card kind of, I don't know. It was rough to watch because it started out, there were some finishes and shit, but, like, I got John McCarthy trying to tell me how good this guy is and explain away the boring-ass fight by saying, like, oh, man, this is really hard to do. Okay, fine. I don't care. Like, you don't have to explain it, but don't tell me how good this fucking guy is. Oh, man. Nonstop with the nose. All right. Anyway, it sucks because I wanted to see a fun fight, and it looked like it was pretty technical on the feet and going a good way, and Mix just, I don't know. It's whatever. I like this event. I kind of regret staying up for it. The main event was great. Cyborg versus Blencowe was awesome. Stots versus Juan Archuleta was great. But everything other than that can suck it. I like. You could skip it. I wouldn't. Again, I said this last week. This ain't the one to get Showtime for. You could skip it. I mean, maybe. Hopefully, the Ryan Bader Bellator event is going to be more exciting than this one. All right. Please subscribe. If you made it this far, like, holy crap, you're awesome. Can't believe you made it. If you're looking for the other Bellator event, I already put that video up. You're looking for the boxing event, I put that video up. If you're looking for the UFC event, I cover that in a different video as well. So appreciate y'all. I really do. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.